Your court television news starting now.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to part two if you don't speak French, of the breaking news edition of NJ Courts TV News Station. I am your host, NJ Courts, and we are back, ladies and gentlemen, and for what I promised, it was going to come either in the form of a update like this or just a community post. But I decided, you know what, I'm going to come on live because I actually have an update on all three cases that we started and went over this morning. So just in time, as a matter of fact, because earlier when I had posted this live stream up, when I checked the Oklahoma State Court Network's website to see if there was anything on Old Girl, nothing had populated yet as far as notes from today's court date. I decided to check just right now before I came on, and lo and behold, we've got a note that is populated for today's court date that we'll be going over lastly. I think what we'll do is we'll go in order with we'll just start with the latest individual, which is going to be hold on, Dobby, I'm talking here, please. The latest individual, which is going to be Strokeoff. Strokeoff's update. Then we'll move on to the Trina Golden update, and then we'll finish with Old Girl's update. All right, is that fair enough? So again, thank you for everybody for taking the time out of your Tuesday afternoon to join me, NJ Courts. And hold on here. What's going on here? You guys fighting over who's going to get the shoe? There's two shoes. You get one shoe, Rio, you get the other shoe. They're playing right now, so... Anywho, so let's start off with Strokeoff. So most of you, and thank you guys for that, contact me to let me know. Sounds like he's going to be actually getting released today. This news has been obviously been brought to everybody's attention by his brother Eric. Okay, so I guess they're live right now, which is the RV live stream. I went on there, rewind about maybe I don't know an hour or so ago, maybe a little bit more. And it sounds like his brother, who was actually sounded like earlier, because he joined in on our chat from this update earlier this morning, was at the actual arraignment. I'm guessing. I don't know. It sounded like he was, but he was in the chat, and it sounded like he was going to be the one informing all of us, once he got an update as to what happened today to his brother. Well, he certainly did. Now, another thing that I also did, and is what I'm going to share with you guys, is I'm going to go over the new booking information that has now been updated after this morning's court hearing. So we're going to read that together, which pretty much tells me or fact checks everything that his brothers just recently said in regards to the release of Mr. Strokeoff. Okay, so more than likely, I would say in the next couple of hours, he's still in the custody of one of the jails. I don't know if he was where he's been transferred to for his release, but I guess his brother learned more or less about 10:30 this morning. His hearing was around 8:30 this morning, Pacific Standard Time. So his brother said around 10:30 this morning. And again, I'm just kind of quoting what his brother said, not to the exact, but more or less close enough. His brother said around 10:30 this morning is when he found out that they were going to be releasing him. He said it can take up to 3 hours, so he'd figure about 1:30. It's about 2:30 their time now, and he still hasn't gotten a call to go pick up Mike. I guess he's going to be picking up Mike once he gets released. I also have the Vine link, a notification turned on, so I should get an email once he's been officially released. But either way, it sounds like he's going to get released this afternoon sometime. From his brother, and based on what I read on the booking sheet, let me just go ahead and bring that up so that way while I'm talking, you guys can read as well along with me. It sounds like they've dismissed or dropped the charges completely as far as the disposition goes. So let me share this screen with you here. And this should kind of give you guys a better idea. So let me see if anything changes up here. So remember, the bond amount used to be $50K. There's no longer a bond amount. It says 0. So that's changed. And then when we go down here, excuse me, we can press on the case info. There's a little link here. So when we hit details, gives us just some basic case information. And again, you no longer have a bond amount of $50K, just shows 0. Doesn't show any fine amounts. Doesn't have a next court date, just shows today's court date as the last one. It doesn't show any sentencing days. What it does show is a few things here under the disposition code and the disposition description. That's what I just highlighted right here for you guys. So under disposition code, it reads REJ, which we could probably say is an abbreviation for what? Rejection. Down here, disposition, you see it says DA rejection. Okay? So kind of sounds more or less like, anybody with common sense would probably figure, well, kind of sounds like the district attorney rejected something. Well, you're right. So what I did is I went ahead and just did a Google search of what the REJ or rejection disposition code means in the California court systems. And let me just read you briefly what I found. In short, I'm just going to read this. I'm not going to share the website with you. What I found, it says disposition code REJ means a DA reject means the district attorney's office decided for reasons known only to them not to file former charges. The defendant walks. So kind of makes sense, right? We're finding out that from his brother that he's going to be released. We see a disposition that says DA rejection. And then based on what we read, it sounds like pretty much everything's tying into each other. So and again, I don't know for 100% certain. I'm sure we'll find out from Mike Strokeoff himself this afternoon. As soon as he gets out, I'm sure he'll be arriving somewhere where he'll be going live. And I'm sure he'll tell us exactly what happened. But I'm going to probably guess that just like we read earlier, the district attorney decided not to file the charges against him, and they dismissed the case. Simple as that. For what reason they decided, I have no clue. You know what I mean? Hopefully Mike will be able to tell us. But either way, you should be expecting probably a live stream from Strokeoff here later this afternoon. If he doesn't come on, maybe choose not to, but it's safe to say that he most likely is going to be released. Now, his brother did mention, and it was hard, and I think I found the spot on the actual live right now that's going on where he talks a little bit about what happened, but he seems to mention that he was quite lucky because apparently he's got some other charges pending. I don't know if these are, again, and I don't know exactly what's going on, so I'm just at this point just assuming, but based on what his brother said, I think it's safe to assume that he may have some other charges pending, some other warrants out, but he was surprised that they weren't going to be transferring him over for those other cases going on. So he seemed quite shocked that they were releasing him. I guess maybe I can find out a little bit more about what's going on with those other pending cases. Maybe you guys know in chat. I know just recently from what we had seen in one of the clips we watched when we did the first coverage of this when he got arrested, he had gotten a DUI not too long ago with Captain Content, during when they were up in the ski slopes up there in California. And then I know he had a prior DUI before that the police, when he had pulled him over, had mentioned. So again, I don't know the exact of this guy's criminal history record, but based on what his brother said, it sounds like he's got some other pending thing going on, other pending things going on, and was actually quite surprised that they were actually releasing him. So, but whatever, that's how it goes. So that covers our first, as far as update. As a matter of fact, before we move on to Trina Golden, let's see if I can play that clip from his brother. Let me see. I'm just going to play it off my phone. Let me get the volume up and let me jump over to the chat. All right. So here it is. Let me take this off the screen.
Gonna call me, dude, so I'm waiting for a phone call from my mom or somebody.
Yeah, here we go.
He probably won't even let me go pick him up, dude. Like, my mom left, and she had to go to, like, the dentist or something, and then she's like, yeah, he's gonna have to go with you if they release him, And then I talked to the DAs, and they're like, we dropped charges, yeah, but he's getting transferred back. So I'm like,
Yeah, but what the fuck did I do to him?
looks like we're looks like he's not, doesn't have to drive with me. Maybe mom will pick him up later. She will.
Yo,
Sherry said she would.
if I'd say it's on site with it.
No.
Oh, why is Chet's over there?
Because they're fucking troll, bro. They think it's funny.
Well, I figured since we
To
both
put fucking ideas in your head and trip you out. What up?
I figured since we both put our Peterson save white women.
I don't give a fuck about you, bro. Mike's more worried about his fucking DUIs and his life and fucking all his problems. He don't give a fuck. He's not thinking about beating you up or even. You're not even entering his mind, bro.
Oh, I know that.
That motherfucker's just fucking depressed thinking about his fucking goddamn fucking problems, all his shit. That's all.
I just assume most guys would never think about
That's all he talks about, dude.
Until like a woman says it. They're like, oh, cool. It's like having a coupon. Oh, thank you for this bonus fucking points today.
All right. There was another part that I was hoping that was going to play, but I don't want to spend too much time. Maybe once I finish the other updates, I can go back and find the other part where he explains a little bit more. But I take that back from what I said earlier. It sounds like Eric is not trying to or not planning on picking up Mike once he gets released. So maybe Mike's mom's the one that's going to be going to pick him up. Who knows? But either way, you heard it from his mouth that it sounds like the disposition it's been dismissed and he's getting released. The other thing I did forget to also mention is, whatever other pending things he got going on, the other thing could be he's already been sentenced and maybe he was given probation or something and he skipped out on whatever he's supposed to do on that and they revoked his probation. Again, I don't know what's going on, but whatever reason, and that's what I wanted to play that I wanted you guys to listen to, was there was a part where his brother kind of hinted on the fact that, like I said, he was a little bit surprised that they weren't transferring him for his previous things. And then he kind of stopped. He didn't say too much. So again, I don't know what other things he got going on and what reason it is that they would be looking for him in other counties to hold him for, court, whatever. But either way, he has been released, or it will be being released here soon. Sicilian Princess says, NJ, are you covering Diddy? A little bit. We started the coverage from this morning. So, and I think I saw you this morning in chat. So whatever we saw today is all we've covered from the Diddy case today. If anything changes or there's been any other big forthcomings in the case, I definitely will be covering that. But it's not going to be the primary case I'll be covering on the channel. But something, obviously, like I talked about earlier, we are going to be getting into covering some of these larger cases or national news type of cases, as I call them. Okay, so moving on to Trina Golden. So I did get an answer. I would say we kind of nailed it more or less as far as what's going on when we discussed earlier an update on her. But I did want to confirm with the district attorney's office, and that's what I did. I actually made a phone call directly to the Johnson County District Attorney's Office out of Olathe, Kansas, and I spoke to one of the representatives there, and they were able to answer all my questions. So I have an answer to everything that went on today and what's went on in the past with Trina Golden and what's going to be going on here in the future, okay? So with that being said, just give me a second here, and I'm going to bring up here to the stage Trina Golden's info. We're going to be looking at her court case info. Again, this is all stuff that you guys can access online, all public information. Just Google search Johnson County in Kansas, because there's a couple of Johnson counties, and that should start guiding you down the rabbit hole of doing a case search, and then you just put in her first and last name, and then poof, it'll take you to something like this. All right, so what we'll start off first is from reading the, oops, there we go, I lied. All right, now you can see. What we're going to do is start off by reading the note from today's court date. Again, this was brought up to our attention by Papa Greeny, I believe that's whom it was in chat earlier this morning. I wasn't aware of this court hearing because I guess it was, scheduled on, we said, September 11th, so just recently. Our next court hearing that we had scheduled on the calendar was for the September 26th sentencing hearing. So she had already had a motion hearing earlier, but then they scheduled a second motion hearing. So I got an answer to exactly what went on those last two motion hearings and what's going to be going on further. Okay, so let's start off by reading the note from today's case, which doesn't tell you much and is why I called down to get some more information. All right. So, and again, if you're on your phones and you're having trouble, or if you're having trouble seeing, just maybe that could be because you're just blind like me, but most likely it's because you're watching like this. go from vertical to horizontal mode, and that should put you in what they call full screen mode, and you should be able to see this a little bit easier. If not, don't worry. I'm going to be reading over everything we're going to be looking at right now with you. So, all right. So let's start off with the note from today. This is, labeled with today's date, which is September 17th of 2024. There's actually two notes. The first note was scheduled motion on 9/19/2024, 3:30 p.m. Division 9. So, and I already knew about that. What they've done is there's going to be continuing the hearing from today. Today's hearing will be continued and is going to be heard next on the 17th, okay? Not 17th, excuse me, on the 19th, here in 2 days. So what is that, Thursday? Today's Tuesday. So Thursday the 19th will be the continued court hearing for this motion, okay? Or excuse me, why are they even continuing? Give me one. Oh, yes, it is going to be continued. I'm sorry. They already ruled on one of the motion hearings, and then they're continuing it for this one, okay? So that I don't confuse you, now let me explain to you what they told me over the phone. So pretty much, it's kind of like what we discussed earlier. We're trying to figure out, well, she's got the sentencing hearing on the 26th, so what are these motion hearings going on, okay? Well, they did have to do with the motions that were filed by her attorney or the defense, okay? So the first motion that was filed was for a motion for a new trial, okay? I believe that was the hearing that they heard on, let me go to the calendar, on the 16th, okay? So they had a hearing to bring that motion forward to the judge to listen to, and that, again, was for a new trial. The judge went ahead and, let's see here, motion for new trial was heard and has been denied, okay? So the motion for the new trial that was heard on, let's see, what did we say? August 16th was denied, all right? The second motion, okay, that was filed by her attorney, that was a motion to withdraw, okay? That's what was heard today. That was taken up today in court and has been continued to September 19th. So we don't know if that motion's been denied or if it's going to get approved, okay? Let's just play devil's advocate and say it gets denied, okay? She continues and she will have her sentencing hearing still scheduled for September the 26th. And let me just double check that. Yes, that's going to be at 1:30 p.m. So she's got the continuance to this motion hearing that started today for the motion to withdraw. That's going to continue on to September 19th at 3:30 p.m. She did have a previous motion that was heard. That was a motion for a new trial that was heard and has been denied, okay? So I hope that kind of answers some questions for those of you that may still have been kind of in the dark about what these notes were kind of talking about when they were having to do with these motion hearings, that we weren't sure if it was having to do with these motions that had been filed, or the other thing that I had brought up was the possibility that these were court hearings having to do with the fact that she had broke her or revoked her bond, okay? So I guess we continue on with this case. I'll have an update for you once we have that court hearing on the 19th. And then, of course, don't forget, most importantly, we have the sentencing hearing on the 26th. All right, so that concludes my update for Gold Girl. God damn it. Not Gold Girl. Trina Golden. See, everything with golden, old gold girl. All right, so this completes my coverage or update on Trina Golden. Now let's move over to Old Girl. Who, if you don't know who Old Girl is, we've just nicknamed her, ski masks, second in command, his ex-fling, whatever you want to call it. But either way, she had a court hearing today. So for that, let's move her over to the OSCN.net website. Eva Lisa says, can you please explain emotion and withdraw, or I'll just look it up. Just look it up. It's pretty much explains itself just by what it's called, motion to withdraw. But to give you the exact meaning, I would just look it up. You know what withdraw means? But it's obviously going to be different than a motion for a new trial, right? So that's why I say I would look it up, because there's obviously going to be a difference and something more specific to why they're, two different types of motions, even though they sound about the same, right? Okay. Thank you, Sunshinery. Oh, Eva Lisa, still trying to sound like she knew what she was talking about. I would still say it's pretty self-explanatory, but to each their own. All right, let's continue on here. Old girl, oscn.net. Here we go. Share this tab. Excellent. All right. You know what? You're going to get a timeout because you're being a little jerk. As a matter of fact, adios. Evil Lisa. I can't stand people like that. If you want to sit there and argue about the definition of something and you don't even have a bit of humor, fuck off. All right, moving on. Let's see here. OSCN.net. Let's go read this last note here. There's only one note. That's from today's date. So this is titled, well, not titled, but labeled today's date, September 17th of 2024. So last time we had kind of done an update on Old Girl. We pretty much kind of were still in a little bit of limbo, because remember, on this case, her original charge was assault and battery. It was a felony assault and battery charge with a weapon. Pretty damn serious, okay? Now, the charge has been changed, and I can show you exactly here so you can fact check me. The charge has been changed to threaten to performing act of violence. Same charge as what Ski Mask is facing. Well, he's facing 2 charges of this, and now he's got a warrant, bench warrant, because he didn't show up to his arraignment for those. That's other news. But either way, it's now been changed to a threat to perform act of violence. So the last note we had read was from her hearing, which was on Monday, September the 9th. And I'll reread that for you, okay? As a matter of fact, that came in the form of an actual document that we can share. And I've actually shared this before, but I'll share it again. So let me just open it up here and I'll share this with you. Make sure you guys can see. All right. So let's see here. That reads, State of Oklahoma plaintiff versus Alicia Heskett. And pretty much what we read from here was, it looks like more or less we saw something having to do with drug court. And then we also read something down here. Remember about, it said something kind of like extradite. And we didn't know if she was going to maybe be extradited. So again, I don't have a lot of information. I just have what we can read off of the OSCN.net website. I was kind of hoping today's note was going to tell us a little bit more, but it didn't. As a matter of fact, it kind of sounds like they're just continuing whatever she had today to her next court hearing. But let me read today's note for you. Let's stop assuming and let's just read what it says. But it reads this. Judge Pazzo, no CR, ST by Thorpe, DC, which stands for Drug Court Coordinator, C-Stone present. Case comes on for staffing. Attorney Wantland present for defendant currently in RCJ. Court orders case set for further staffing on October 8, 2024 at 2 p.m. pretty much it. So I still want to know what happened to why they changed her charge from that first, original charge of a felony assault and battery with a weapon to this, I guess I would assume it's a misdemeanor charge of the threaten to perform act of violence charge. Maybe that's part of some type of plea agreement, which is, I think, hold on. Did we read it again? I think she did. There was just so much stuff on here. I'm not sure if she did take a plea. Let me see something. Defendant appeared in court. Defendant without objection is sustained. Alt court. It was like pretty much like they assigned her. Yeah, because see, here you go. Here's the part here. This is where it got confusing. All right. So this is the second page. Let's read this together. This is where it sounds like they did give her some type of plea agreement, because it says right here, comes on for plea. Defendant sworn, defendant advisor right, defendant makes knowing involuntary waiver of rights, defendant. And this, okay, NC was the NOLO plea, the NOLO contendere plea. To counts 2 and 3, state moves to dismiss count 1. So now all of a sudden we went from 1 count to changing that 1 count to now 3 counts, but then dismissing 1 and her pleading guilty to, pleading NOLO to count 2 and 3. So all of a sudden it's like there was 3 charges all of a sudden. And it shows that in count 2 and 3, each count comes with a $100 fine. Hold on, let me plug in my charger to the laptop before I lose you guys. So I still got to figure out what the hell's going on. I mean, obviously on this document, it shows she did take some type of plea and she pled NOLO on that. And then it says down here something about on the 18th at 1:30 to, and I think remember we were spelling this out. We couldn't really see it too great. But for me, that spells extradite. Down here at the bottom, for me, it spells extradite state. So still confusing. But either way, the note for today reads, or we just read it, pretty much that she's got case comes on for staffing. Court orders case set for further staffing on October 8th at 2 p.m. So I owe you guys a better explanation on this one for sure. I just wanted to share with you the new note that came out. But obviously she's still in custody, so she's still in jail. And I don't think she's going to be getting out anytime soon, or at least until October 8th. And hopefully we'll find out more by then. But like I said, I'm still confused as to why the charge changed. I have a feeling it has to do with this NOLO plea that she took. But does that mean that they changed the 1 charge, and with the plea they added 2 other charges and said, we'll dismiss this 1 charge, but you got to plead to this charge and this charge? So I'll figure it out. I'll make some calls, send some emails, get the exact info. Kind of like what I did today on the Trina Golden case. You guys know me. I hate to guess. I just like to use public documents when they're available. And when they're not, the next best thing I can do is just make calls down to the DA's office. And you know what's pretty lame, Aaron, is I doubt he sent her any money to help her for a commissary. You know, if it was him and, if they switched roles, he'd be calling her and bugging her for, trying to get him out, bonding him out. Like I said, at the bare minimum, he'd be bugging her to send him commissary money. So I doubt he's probably sent her a penny. You know how it rolls with that guy. But I think this drug court was part of the plea deal, and that's probably most likely what they're just waiting on getting her enrolled in, or getting a slot open, is into this drug court. Kind of like what is going on with Amber HHHH. But I think there's definitely a lot more going on behind this whole case. I'm not going to make any allegations. This is just my personal opinion. But I feel like there's a lot more to it than we know, obviously. And I still, for some reason, think that this somehow ties into that whole relationship with her and this ski mask. I mean, granted, it's out of another county, but, these two were freaking, hanging out every day up until the day she was arrested. So who knows? And, he's going to lie, and deny. So we'll never know the truth. All right. Let's see here. I'm trying to think what else we got going on. I apologize if I seemed a little too rude to the evil Lisa. I'm just kind of not in the mood for people that just get cranky on a simple little remark like that. So I'll probably end up unbanning her. As a matter of fact, she actually was banned before and actually ended up unbanning her. And I don't think I banned her. So I don't know if it was one of the past mods, but obviously she's done something on the channel that pissed off somebody prior. So don't act like you're an angel, evil Lisa. But I'll get you unbanned. I'm sure she probably won't even want to come back anyways. But like I said, I can't tolerate that shit anymore. I got so much shit going on with my real world and, covering all these bozos. And, when I try to throw a little bit of some just to be funny and people want to take it serious and then snap back at me. Yeah. Anyways, probably Cesar. But you know what? I will apologize. I should have just timed you out, not banned you. Thanks, Roofer. All right, you guys. Thanks, Sunshinery. Yeah, if you guys could, please. Let's see. I'm trying to think what else we got. And that was pretty much it. I wasn't even planning on giving you an update on Old Girl, except that like I said, last minute, that note popped up on oscn.net. And even then, I still don't have, that much of an update other than just what we read. I'm still confused as to why the charges changed, other than just she was offered a plea deal. And then I'm kind of, not confused, but kind of trying to understand what's going on. Like, we saw that she had to pay fines and she had to plead, pretty much that notalo plea on 2 of the charges, and they dismissed 1. But is the drug court her sentencing? And if it is, what does that consist of? That's all. Not too confused, but just hoping to get a little bit more facts is all. All right. Yeah, I think that's it, ladies and gentlemen. I didn't have much to come on and say. Just wanted to update you guys, like I said, from earlier's court case updates. And I wasn't going to, I told you guys earlier, I was either going to do it as a community post or just come on. But since we had 3 updates, I said, let's just come on and do a quick little live and update you guys. So shout out to my replay crew that might be catching this later. Thank you to everybody that joined me last minute. Thank you to all the mods for being here. Thank you to all the members of the jury for you guys being here. I appreciate that. Let's see here. Thank you for all the viewers. You're welcome, Miss Ella. Hey, you're welcome. Hey, well, thank you for being here, Sunshinery. You too, Roofer. Let's see. What else? When's our next show? I'm just trying to think. I still need to finish filling that up. Oh, we got an update 2 days because somebody's got a hearing in 2 days, and then Trina Golden's got her. What did we say? What am I thinking here? We got shit going on just in a couple of days, right? Yeah, Trina Golden's motion hearing continues on in 2 days, so that'll be Thursday. And then when did we say was Old Girl's next court hearing? October 8th. Okay, sorry. So, yeah, I guess our next update will be on what happens on Trina's continued motion. I guess we'll know if it was denied or approved. And then sentencing hearing, and then that'll be at September 26th for Trina Golden will be her sentencing hearing. And then don't forget, we also have EBZ, who's got his hearing on. You guys like how I did that? Welcome to the Church of NJ. Just kidding. On. Hold on. I cannot find my calendar. Oh, shit. Come on. There we go. That will be September 23rd. Who knows, Cesar? You know, I'll tell you what, from all these cases, you know, the majority of them that we've covered, it seems like a lot of them, they do seem to get dropped or dismissed, or, you know, a lot of people get a lot of chances. I'll tell you that. That's one thing I've learned from just covering a lot of these cases, you know, because usually, unless you're, you know, following a lot of different people's cases, generally you don't really know much about what happens, right? You figure, okay, somebody's got a record, you know, they've done something a few times already, they go in front of a judge, they get in trouble, they most likely are going to go to jail for just a little bit to learn. No, you know, we've seen some people that have got a fucking extensive record that, you know, they get let out, they get dismissed. This, you know, it's, I tell you what, I've probably learned that the court system is a lot more jacked up than we actually think it isn't. And that's kind of sad. And you know, and I wish I didn't have to say that, but again, just my personal opinion, but my gosh, have I just seen some jacked up shit. Crazy justice system. That's right. All right, ladies and gents, we're going to call it an evening, at least for me. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Tuesday night. A lot of national news going on. I updated you guys a little bit on the P. Diddy case. I'm sure a lot of the national news that's going to be coming on here in the next couple of hours, depending on what side of the country you're on, is going to be updating you on that. So that may be something you may want to catch. I don't know if much has changed from what we talked about this morning, but maybe it has. Then, of course, you got the big discussion on what's going to be going on further now. Moving on with the school shooting in Georgia. We've got the second assassination attempt that happened on former President Trump. And then what's going on with the manhunt on that other shooter? The National Guardsman. Did they catch that guy yet, or have they decided that he's probably KIA'd himself somewhere in the woods? But yeah, there was just some horrible, just a lot of tragic shit going on over the last week or so. So I'll definitely be catching the news here in a bit. Usually I don't. Usually there was a time where it was just so negative, I just didn't care anymore. But now with the whole election coming up, I've been more in tune to it. So still on the run, and they're still looking. Thank you, Sunshinery. Well, there you go. So, interesting. Well, hopefully, if he's still really physically on the run, they're going to catch this guy soon. That way he doesn't hurt anybody else. But I have a really good feeling that guy's probably no longer on the run for another reason. But I guess we'll find out sooner or later. All right, my friends, enjoy the rest of your night. NJ Courts. Oh, before I say what I usually... Oh, I already said I'm out. I'm not going to blow your eardrums again today. I won't do it a second time. It's funny the first time, but not the second. But I will say this, as I always do. Please make sure and keep your head on a swivel. Check that 6 every once in a while. Take some time to love somebody, or at least love yourself. Or if you got pets, gives them some love. They'll love you back always. And we'll see you on the next one, ladies and gents. Peace out. All right. NJ Courts is officially... No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to say it. Have a good night, everybody. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.